Hey everybody, this is my top 10 solo games that I've played that I enjoy. Now, these games may not be strictly solo, but the games that I enjoy playing solo that are kind of in my top 10. So let's start off with number 10 called 2D6 Dungeon. This is something that you can basically pay and get online at DriveThruRPG, and you get to sketch out your dungeon. Everything's done by rolling 2d6 dice, and you get the size, and it has the idea for scratching out, making your way for an adventure. Has a unique combat system. A lot of fun. This would be probably a little bit higher, but recently I reviewed something that you're going to see higher on the list that kind of beats us out. Number 9 is One Deck Dungeon. You can play this on an app. You can play it with the actual dice game. I've done both, and I really enjoy it. Yes, I'm cheating off my pad. Don't tell on me. But the fun of the game is manipulating dice. So it has a dungeon theme, but the whole idea is a dice mitigation game, really. And you're trying to save up to beat the boss using your three different, skills in the game. I can't remember exactly what they were, like strength, dexterity, and whatever the blue one was, willpower or wisdom or something. But anyway, it's just been a lot of blast. I played a ton of games of those. It's just been a while since I have, but it just always left a good feel with me. My number 8 is a game called Entity. And it's kind of in the vein of it's a science fiction game of story where you're playing an artificial, futuristic, sentient thing, and the whole solar system galaxy has been destroyed, and somehow you end up on this planet, and you're just trying to find your way around, and you basically choose the skill set, and then it gives you these numbers, and based upon the dice that you roll shows what kind of successes or almost successes that you get, and then it progresses. You build these buildings, blah blah blah. But it's actually pretty interesting. Now, a little dry to some degree because most of it's set up through imagination, but the whole idea is the setting, the opening lines of the story sets you of what you're doing, and it really is very impactful. So I know these are just quick descriptions, but I don't want to spend all day on a list to make it crazy here because I just wanted to make a quick video. But anyway, that's Entity. You can check that out at, I think, DriveThruRPG as well. It's a different type of game. So anyway, another one that I love playing solo, my number 7 is Lost Ruins of Arnak. If you've played this board game, you know what I'm talking about. It's mostly a kind of a worker placement, but also a deck builder that you can make your deck a little bit better to go to better places, collect items, go up these tracks. Your adventuring kind of has a sort of an exploratory half Indiana Jones feel where you can defeat these monsters. So great fun. I'm surprised if you haven't heard of that one. Okay, my number 6 is Star Trek Frontiers, which is basically built on the same engine as Mage Knight. Mage Knight would have been on my list, but I've never played it solo. But I'm sure I'm going to put it right here kind of beside it because I've always played that 2 players with a buddy of mine. And but the Star Trek Frontiers makes it very smooth. You can play one of the captains of whatever, like, the Next Generation, or you can play Captain Kirk from the original series, and you can you get a special captain's card. So the game's a little bit easier, and the rules are just like clean just a little bit, not much, but it is a little friendlier to the players. I felt it was anyway. But if you like Star Trek, you like space, and you like the Mage Knight engine, you might want to give it a try because it's pretty fun. Okay, number 5 is I love role-playing games. I love dungeon stopping, but using the solo rules for Dragonbane, the role-playing game. So Dragonbane, the Dragonbane waypoint system of using the solo rules of kind of telling the story, and you can use the dice as oracle. I've done that as a solo experience. I've also kind of done it as a guided thing with having me as a player asking questions. But if you just want to, do some role playing, but there's no one around, or you just want to kind of do a concept story with yourself and try out your character, the Dragonbane solo experience is pretty good. I was very happy with it. All right, I played this next one, number 4 on my list, which is Zombicide Black Plague and Zombicide, basically all the medieval Zombicides. I know that a lot of people like the new Marvel one. I think it's pretty good, but it just, I don't know what it is. It just doesn't feel quite right to me. I like the more gritty feel. I don't think that it needs to be cleaned up, as everybody had said, for all these new rules. But I love the idea of, like, you're trying to defeat these necromancers and save these villages, and you're getting out there with your swords and your sorceries, and you're just chunking dice, and the zombies are overcoming you. You always feel the pressure. You never know if you're going to win or lose. And you just try to make the best experience that you can. And you can play with one character or 5 characters, but you can play by yourself. And I played that a lot of solo, and it's a lot of fun. My number 3 is the one that beats out 2D6 Dungeon on the list, and it's called 4 Against Darkness, which I've done kind of a review, how I feel about it on the channel, which I really love it. And it's kind of like, if you took, I think that 4 Against Darkness might actually be out a little bit before 2D6 Dungeon, but it just seems to do it a little bit better. It gives me that more of the feel, because you play the classic tropes of, you've got the warrior, the thief, the cleric, and, and you just go out and you're exploring the dungeon, and it has all these charts, but it's done in a very clean system, and it has a lot of great books to go with it that makes it easy. Like, you can pump up your monsters by having twisted monsters, or push up your treasures or whatever. But just the base thing can give you tons of fun little play. But after a while, it may become a little dry. You want to be able to push your character to higher levels, or do you want to add a lot more flavor to it? So I suggest getting more stuff on that. So anyway, brings us to number 2, which has been my number 1 for a long time, is Shadows of Brimstone. You getting downright tired of them other games? You want to sling some lead from your guns, or, walk through portals? Well, Shadows of Brimstone is kind of it's definitely a dungeon crawly feel, where you draw cards, you go across this map of these old mines, and they have portals, and you can go to tons of different worlds with models, and it is a little convoluted, and it takes a long time to play, but that's what makes it good to play at 2 or 1 players. And this is a solo list, and I played this solo a lot, because you can just take your time and have fun and do what you need to do. It is a real blast. So if you ever have never tried Shadows of Brimstone, I recommend it. Definitely 2-player. And then if you like it beyond that, you can be like me and play it solo a lot, because not everybody's invested for the deepness of the game can take sometimes, or the brutality of the game. And my number 1 game solo currently that I've been playing for a while now, I believe the guy's last name is Glover. I forgot what his first name was, who designed it, but it's called Iron Helm, and it's a dungeon crawl themed, but it's driven on cards. And basically, you have a small deck of cards, and you shuffle them up, and then you basically have, like, I'm going to either choose this one or this one. You choose a card, you flip over, and then you have to deal with that card. Or you can go, you know what, I kind of peeked in that door, I don't want to go that way. So that gets set aside, and then that means you have to do the other one, but on this, as you had received it as a second card. And usually it's more of a risk when you do that. Sorry, I got a little glitch there on my phone. So anyway, you fight this boss at the end, which is a little anticlimactic, but the game is very brutal. Got a low win ratio, but it's a lot of fun if you like, flipping cards and cool old school artwork. And you get to chunk dice. It's a fun game. So anyway, that's my top 10 solo games of all time. And sorry, I tried to truncate this list and make it less than a 10-minute video. Hopefully it is when I get done editing it or whatever. So anyway, have a great day, and thanks for watching.